Hello, welcome to Lunar Flow. I'm excited that you're here. Today's class is, I'm going to be talking about things related to this full moon that we're having today. We have a lunar eclipse. It's the last one in a series that's been going on since 2021. So we're just gonna talk about that as we take our yoga postures. So I want you to start seated, nice and easy. You can sit on a block, you can sit on a pillow, you can sit however you're comfortable. Crisscross applesauce, you can sit on your feet. Just find a nice, easy seat. And then connect your hands to your body somehow. You can put them on your thighs, you can fold them in your lap, you can make a mudra, a yoga hand position, and close your eyes. Bring your spine up nice and tall. Stack your ears above your shoulders, above your hips. And then start to breathe very, very deliberately. Pay attention to how it feels. Pay attention to the length of the inhale and the length of the exhale. And even the pause that falls between. So there's kind of this point where we slow down at the top of the breath. It's where our lungs are filling up. We get to a point where we just can't take in anymore. And then we slowly start to let it out. And then after we let it out, we come to a point where we slow down on the out breath. We can't easily get out anymore. And then we have to take in anew. So just let yourself kind of drift into that waxing and waning, the inhale, the exhale. If you think about how the moon waxes and wanes and how our breath waxes and wanes, where we would be in the lunar cycle in terms of our breath would be right to that peak of the inhale. We're at the fullest point. And it's at this point that the energy shifts. It starts to then, we start to release, we start to exhale. The moon starts to release light as well. She gets darker each night that passes over the next 2 weeks. So focus on the peak, focus on the crest, on that full point, because that's where we are today. There's an element of relief once we kind of get over the hill. But right now, we are full, we are bright, we are shiny. Everything outside of us is illuminated. Polarities are illuminated, maybe conflicts are illuminated, emotions are heightened. And because of all of the illumination, it's easier to see. It's easier to take stock of what we've done and the progress that we've made. So traditionally, full moons are associated with abundance and harvest. So as we're focusing on the peak of our breath, sitting in that moment, let's also think about the peak, where we are right now, how every single step that we've taken in our entire lives has brought us right up to this culmination point, this moment. And then just going with those themes, I think we can deduce that this full moon, yes, it's a time of illumination. It's a time of peak energy. It's a time of heightened sensitivity and awareness. But I think it's also a really good point to celebrate and to acknowledge, to feel really lucky and to feel really good about everything that you've done. Because then over the next 2 weeks, it'll be time to do something different. It'll be time to go inside of ourselves instead of being focused on the outside. So wiggle your body out. If you're feeling like you've been sitting too long, we can uncross our legs and move a little bit through our knees. Maybe it feels good to straighten out one leg at a time, kind of let your knees flutter. And then we're going to make our way back into that seat for just a couple moments. So if you were sitting with one leg in front, cross-legged, bring the opposite leg in front. Try to make it so that you're not in the exact same shape that you were in before. Let's start to move our head from side to side. Just dropping the right ear to the right shoulder and the left ear to the left shoulder. Add in a swivel, a pivot. We're going to roll our head from side to side. The next time your head falls to the right, let it just stay there. Relax your shoulders. Maybe give your elbows a little wiggle. Make sure that you're not holding any shapes that you're unaware of. Let your eyes be soft, or you can open your eyes. Relax your jaw, relax your temples, your scalp, your tongue and your mouth. Slowly take your head over to the other side. And then same thing, give your elbows a little wiggle. Just make sure you're not harboring any energy. You're not firing any muscles that you're not giving yourself permission to activate. With the heightened sensitivity, heightened emotions, the rapid fire kind of energy that comes with eclipse season, a lot of us react physically and we don't even realize. We hold our arms close to our body, we lift our shoulders up to our ears, we clench our jaw, and these are just coping mechanisms that we've picked up over time, but we don't need to continue to carry that in our body. So try to find those little tension points and let them go. Bring your gaze back up to neutral, and then let's crawl over the knees. We'll come into a tabletop position, stacking hands under your shoulders and then your knees under your hips. Take a couple of C curves right here, bending from side to side. Finding space in one side of your rib cage at a time. And then work your way back to center. And we'll move through cats and cows next. Move with your breath. Inhale, lift your tailbone, lift your eyes. And then exhale, round your spine, press down into the ground. Take a few really big dramatic movements on your own, using your breath to help you determine your speed, your rhythm. And as you're exploring what it feels like to move and breathe, see what else you can find in your body. See if there's any points of tension, if there's any soreness, any aches, any messages at all that you can pick up on. Bring your spine back to neutral. And then let's come into a melting heart pose. So we'll open up our chest a little bit, our shoulders a little bit. So you come into melting heart, start to work your forearms down to the ground. Kind of looks like child's pose with your butt up in the air. So from forearms, we're going to start to just crawl the hands forward. So you're lowering your collarbones down towards the mat. You can put your chin or your forehead down on the ground and then just sink into the pose. Let your shoulders really open up. Now, full moons really illuminate the polarities because the sun is opposite the moon, and oppositions inherently come with confrontation or with tension or with disagreement because we're looking from different angles. So the themes that are associated with Taurus and Scorpio have likely been more relevant in our lives just since November of 2021. That's when this eclipse series began. So that's some time. Think about what was happening in your own life in November of 2021. And see if you can find any common threads between here and there. Work your way back up to your hands and knees. And then come all the way up to standing on your knees. So we're going to bring our ears above our shoulders, above our hips, above our knees. We're going to move through a series of movements to help balance the elements in our body. Going with that theme of extremes, we have this big, bright polarity, this big, bright opposition in the sky between the sun and the moon, which usually just kind of takes us away from center. It can take us to one extreme side or the other. So we're going to balance all of the elements. Start with an inhale, take your hands up high. Exhale, drop your right hand to your side, lean to the right. Inhale back up through center. And then exhale, left hand drops to your side, lean to the left. Inhale back up through center. Now we're going to exhale and stick our booty back. Bring your forehead down towards the ground and reach your arms towards the wall behind you. We want the right temple pointing to the ground. And we don't have to come all the way down to the ground. Inhale, go back up to center, reach for the ceiling. And then exhale, same thing, booty back. This time, left temple comes down towards the floor. Reach back through your arms, lift them up to the ceiling. And then inhale, reach back up through center. Exhale, open your elbows. Really exaggerate this. We want to feel this in our chest and shoulders, spine, maybe even around into the front side. Inhale, reach back up for the ceiling. Exhale, twist open, right fingertips go back, left fingers go forward. Inhale, back up through center. Exhale, left fingers go back, right fingers go forward, twist. Breathe in, reach up. Awesome, that was the elements. We're gonna take a child's pose on the exhale. Come down, hips to heels, forehead to the floor. And then let's go back up. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, right hand comes down. This is the water element. Lean to the right. Inhale back through center. Exhale, opposite side. Water flows, it bends, it fits into a container. Inhale back to center. This next one is earth. We take our booty back, right temple towards the floor, lift your hands up high. Inhale, come back up to the ceiling. Exhale, opposite side, left temple. Inhale, back up to center. Exhale, open your elbows, field goal pose. This is air. Inhale, back to center, and then we go to fire. We'll twist right, take your right hand back, left fingers forward, big twist. And then inhale, center. Exhale, opposite side. Inhale, center. Exhale, child's pose. We're going to add a step. Inhale to cobra, pull your body forward towards the mat and then lift your chest up. Exhale back to your child's pose. And then inhale back up to center, reach high, stand up on your knees. Water, drop your right arm down, lean to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, water on the left, drop your left arm. Inhale, center. Earth, right temple, booty goes back. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Exhale, left temple, earth. Inhale, reach up high. Exhale, air, open your elbows, open up your rib cage, big exhale. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, fire, twist, right hand goes back. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, child's pose. Inhale, come forward, find your cobra. Exhale, child's pose. And inhale, stand up tall on your knees, reach high. Awesome. We're going to do a few more. Exhale, right. Inhale, center. Exhale, left. Inhale, center. Earth, right temple. Stick your booty back. Reach your arms up high. And then inhale, back up to center. Exhale, opposite side. Left temple comes down. Inhale, reach back up. Exhale, air, open, 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 open your rib cage. Inhale, reach for the ceiling. Twist, fire, right hand goes back. Inhale, center. Exhale, twist left. Inhale, center. Exhale, come down to your child's pose. Inhale, move towards cobra. Exhale, child's. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, water on the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, water on the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, earth, right temple comes down towards the ground. And inhale, reach back up high. Exhale, left temple comes down. Inhale, reach back up high. Air, open up your lungs, make space in your shoulders and ribs. Inhale, reach back for the ceiling. And exhale, twist open to the right. Right hand goes back, fire. Breathe in back to center and out on the other side. Good, breathe in, go back to center. We're gonna do one more. Exhale, child's pose. Come down to the ground. Move through cobra, take an inhale. And then exhale back to child's. Stand up tall on your knees, big reach. Exhale, lean over to the right. Inhale, center. Exhale, lean over to the left. Inhale, center. Exhale, right temple. Earth comes down to the ground. Breathe in, reach back for the ceiling. And then breathe out, left temple. Inhale, reach back for the ceiling. Air, open up your arms and elbows. Inhale, reach high. Exhale, twist open, fire. Inhale. Exhale, left side fire. Inhale. Exhale, come down to the mat. Move into your cobra pose, pull your body forward. And then exhale to child's pose and pause. Find a comfy child's pose. If you'd like to separate your knees a little bit or take your hands back towards the wall behind you, that's perfect. Just look for some equilibrium in your body, some center point, some neutral energy. I love how astrology, all of the signs talk about the different themes of being alive. So even if we don't subscribe to the idea that there's any magic to it or not, any truth to it or not, we can still contemplate the themes as we go through them through the year, because then we have a format to think about all of the areas of life. We're not leaving anything out. We're not skipping the things we don't want to look at. So Scorpio Taurus, Taurus is earth. It's all about practicality. It's all about numbers and quantities and making sure that they can use their senses to engage with reality. So those are things that are concrete and they have form and they're quantifiable. Taurus likes to provide. So it likes to be in that like really realm where they can pick things up and move them and measure them and quantify how much value they have. Scorpio, on the other hand, goes under the surface. It's more fixated with transformation and mystery and death and rebirth. And those kinds of topics are not really very tangible at all. So while these two signs have common ground, they speak the same language in some regards. In other regards, they are just polar opposites. So let's keep working with that. Move your body up to a tabletop position, shoulders on wrists, knees on under hips. Tuck the toes under, downward facing dog. Take your hips up high. Start to pedal out your feet one side at a time. And press down into both of your heels. Walk your feet forward towards your hands, and then put your feet wide so they find the very edges of your mat. Let's grab onto our elbows for a ragdoll. Let your spine release forward, your head release from your neck and shoulders. Now, because the sun is in Scorpio, I feel like a lot of the stuff that is under the depths, that we hide under the surface, is kind of coming to light. It's kind of being illuminated by this bright full moon. Let's release our hands down to the ground. Lift your spine up halfway, so it's parallel with the floor, and then interlace your hands above your tailbone. Let's press the knuckles back, lengthen out the arms, and then fold your spine forward, once again releasing your head and your shoulders. I've had lots of clients just and friends also talking about, you know, these different things that they thought that they had healed. They thought that they had already dealt with in their life. They had already learned that lesson. And then upon closer examination have realized that they healed just enough to get by. They healed just enough to get that thing that they wanted or needed in the moment at hand. And then abandoned the process. And that just made me think about healing in a different way. Let's release our hands back to our elbows for a ragdoll pose again. Find a little bit of movement, a little bit of sway. It reminded me of being in a yoga class when you're in a hip opening posture and you think that you have found the deepest access in your body that you can find. And of course, the instructor makes you stay a little bit longer than what you'd like. And pretty soon you start to soften into new areas that you didn't even know you had. So I kind of think our healing, our emotional healing works that same way, that we can always just go a little bit deeper, a little bit deeper. Let's release our hands down to the ground. Walk your feet in together and then put a bend in your right knee. Let's inhale, take the left hand up to the ceiling, big twist. And then exhale, fold back forward. Switch sides, left knee bends, right hand goes high, reach up. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose. Inhale, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. Bend your right knee, left hand lifts. Inhale, twist. Exhale, fold. Opposite side, left knee bends, right hand lifts. Exhale, fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, forward fold. One more time, twist open to the left, left hand goes high. Exhale, forward fold. Inhale, right hand goes high, twist open. Exhale, forward fold. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Extended mountain pose, reach up for the ceiling. Exhale, fold down. Halfway lift. Let's move our bodies into high plank. And we're gonna hold right here, hold steady. Take a peek at your bones. Make sure that you have put your skeleton in a really good position to be able to hold itself up more effortlessly. So we want to stack our joints, shoulders on wrists. We even want to stack our heels on our toes, and we want to focus with our eyes. Hold right here for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. Start to lower your body down to the ground. You can lower your knees and flow, or you can take a plank down to a low plank. We're going to move back to downward facing dog ultimately. Take a breath in. Take a breath out. Step or hop to your hands and then come onto your seat. We're going to take 3 rock and rolls. Move your body back and forward. Try not to use your hands. One more time. Awesome. Then bring your feet down to the ground. Reach your hands forward, lengthen your spine. Sit up really, really nice and tall, and very slowly start to lower your shoulders and your spine down to the ground. Keep your spine as straight as you can. And then come all the way down. Once you get all the way down to the ground, put your hands down beside your hips, lift your feet up to the ceiling. And we're going to take crunches right here. So make sure you're pressing your whole spine down into the ground. We're going to exhale and crunch up, and then inhale and crunch down. Move with your breath. Do 5, 4, 3, 2. Last one. Good. Pull your knees down towards your chest. Take 3 more rock and rolls. We're going to come all the way to Utkatasana. Try to not use your hands. Awesome. So after your 3rd rock and roll, come onto your feet. Big toes touch, so there's a little room between your heels. I'm going to sit down deep into our hips and then extend your arms up from your shoulders, reaching up high towards the ceiling. Let's move from right here into an airplane pose with our left heel reaching for the wall behind. Straight, strong legs with a little bit of give in the standing knee. Let's come back to our chair, our Utkatasana. Put your feet down, reach your fingertips up. And then switch. Take your right heel back, press your left heel down, reach back through your fingertips. Come back to your Utkatasana. Sit low into your legs, reach high through your fingers. And let's fold our body forward. With a halfway lift, step your left foot back, warrior 1. Pivot your heels, your left heel down to the ground, your right toes point forward to 12 o'clock. And then pull your right hip back so it comes down under your right shoulder. Focus your eyes straight ahead of you. And see if you can notice any polarity within yourself. Sometimes when we get into situations that feel difficult or uncomfortable in some way, there's a part of us that wants to retreat, and there's a part of us that wants to keep going. And sometimes the percentage of both halves changes. It's not always 50-50. So see if you can see the dichotomy within you, the split within you. Let's open our shoulders and hips to warrior two. Slide your front foot in slightly so it's more center. If you drew a line from your right heel to your left foot, it would land in the middle of the arch of the foot. Check your shoulders, make sure they're falling down under your ears. And we've got right hand forward, left hand back. Hold your focus. Flip your front hand up to the ceiling, reverse your warrior. Let's cartwheel our hands down to the ground. Pivot your back toes forward and step up to the top of your mat. All 10 toes line back up. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Utkatasana, sit down into your seat. Notice your weight distribution in your feet. We want both feet to be even. We want to be able to lift our toes up off the mat. So we want our weight primarily in our heels and in the balls of our feet. Let's bring our hands together to heart center and then turn to the right. Bring your left elbow down to your right leg. Press your palms together. Come back to center, hands at heart center. And inhale, stand up tall. Breathe in, reach up. Breathe out, fold forward. Bend your knees, bring your seat down to the ground. We're going to take 3 rock and rolls and then come back to our back on the ground, feet to the ceiling. All right, shoulders on the floor, feet lift up high, hands come down beside your hips. We're going to add on to what we did before. So as we exhale, lift your head up towards your knees. And then when you put your head back down, take your legs to a hover. Exhale, bring head and legs up towards center. Inhale, lengthen your body out. Continue with your breath up and down. We'll do 5, 4, 3, 2, last one. Awesome. Bring your knees down towards your chest. 3 rock and rolls takes you back to Utkatasana. All right. Come back to your Utkatasana. Sit down into your legs. Take your hands up high. Last side, okay? Let's press down into our left foot. Take the right leg back, airplane pose. Long legs. Be deliberate with like how your joints are related to each other. We want a long line from our hip to our heel. Then let's pull our knee towards our chest as we reach our hands up to the ceiling. Awesome. Airplane pose, go back. And then Utkatasana, sit down. Take your left heel back for airplane pose. Right leg is strong, connecting you to the ground below. Flex your left toes. And then pull your left knee through as you reach your hands up to the ceiling. Go back to your airplane pose. And then find Utkatasana. Sit down low. Reach up high through your fingers. And inhale, stand tall. Exhale, fold forward. Halfway lift. Step your right foot back. Warrior one. Bring your feet down. Take your hands up. Take mental note of where your hips are in relation to your ears. If one is further back, try to bring it forward so your hips are parallel with the top edge of your mat. Focus your eyes. Notice any tension, any conflict, any opposition that is happening within you. We get really good at avoiding that, avoiding discomfort, no matter what kind of discomfort it is. We don't like drinking plain water. We find a way to add flavor to it. Have you stopped and thought about the water section at the store lately? Like if someone from a long time ago walked into the store and saw all those different waters, they'd be like, what? Let's open to Warrior 2. But instead of just sitting with the discomfort, what we do is we arrange everything on the outside in order to make us feel better on the inside. And so there's a lot of these little healing wounds or these little wounds that we continue to just brush under the rug. And I think that that is what is happening with the Scorpio sun, Taurus full moon, is a lot of those things are now out in the open. The wounds we thought we healed maybe have a fresh new scab on them. And I encourage you to do everything within your power to not put a Band-Aid on it. Let's reverse the warrior. Take your left arm up and back. And then bring the hands down forward, frame your front foot, step your right foot to the top of your mat. Halfway lift, breathe in. Forward fold, breathe out. Utkatasana, sit down low. Bring your hands together. Twist to the left. Put your right arm down on your left leg. Press your palms together like you mean it. When we don't let ourselves heal and process and get as deep down as we can go, if instead we just rearrange everything so we feel better, that wound is going to resurface again. That lesson is going to resurface again. We are signaling to the universe that we need something to help us extract that from us. And it doesn't need to be that way. Let's come back to center. Stand up with an inhale, reach up nice and high. And then exhale, fold your body forward. Halfway lift, breathe in. Take your way back to a high plank, and from high plank, work into downward facing dog any way you'd like to get there. Let's pull our body forward again into a plank, and then very slowly set yourself down on the ground. Bring your knees to the ground, your hips to the ground, your chest, your shoulders, and let's take a Sphinx pose. So we'll just put our elbows and forearms down to the ground. Set your eyes ahead of you. And then let yourself get really heavy. Let yourself rest down into the mat beneath you. Notice how good it feels to not be exerting ourselves. Now, Scorpio and Taurus are both fixed signs. They're both fixed placements. And that's just a category of the signs of the zodiac. But what it says is that there's more likely to be themes related to control. These are signs that they're more inclined to want to hold things as they are than to change and adapt, to be surprised, to be spontaneous, to like allow someone else to leverage them. So just the way that I keep seeing this is we pray and we ask and we hope and we strive, we work towards things. But then when something comes up that asks us to allow for a change or to deviate from our original plan, we grip what we have. We grip the way things are. We don't want to let go. We don't want to take that risk of not knowing. Like our brain just views it like a threat because it's unknown. Change is unknown. And that's a problem. That's a big problem for our brains. But if we want something different than what we have, then there's something we have to let go of. There's something that we have to release our grip on in order for that new thing to have a space to come into. So I think there's like so many different movies and like books that allude to this, but I'm thinking of Bruce Almighty or Evan Almighty. I think it's Evan Almighty. And Morgan Freeman is God, and he goes into the restaurant and he engages with the woman, and she says something to the tune of like, well, I've been praying for patience. And Morgan Freeman, of course, says when you pray for patience, God doesn't just give you patience. He gives you opportunities to be patient. So in order to take on that, we have to change something. And that's where we get stuck. That's where we are like, nope. Let's release your body down, release your chest down, your temple, bring the right temple down to the mat, and then shift your left leg out to the side for a half frog. So we bend our left knee to the left wall. We pull our knee up to just about hip level. And then we want to be able to see our toenails beyond our knee. So just rest your body down to the ground. The more that you can relax, make your body heavy, the more that this posture is going to do for you. So really do what you can to let your low back go, your glutes, your legs, your feet, your abdomen, your shoulders, especially your shoulders. It's where everybody carries all their everything. Start to really focus on that release, because that's what's coming next. After this peak full moon, we will be on the release swing of the cycle for 2 weeks. Letting go, cleaning out, processing, digesting, eliminating. Take a big breath in and then out. And let's switch sides. So take your left leg behind you, bend your right knee so it comes over to the right side, and then just soften your body down. Relax your chest, relax your shoulders, relax your head. Another good way to kind of work with the energy of Scorpio and Taurus is to ask yourself what you're investing your time and energy into. And I mean that in the deepest way possible. Like, what are you unknowingly holding in place so tightly that you don't even remember that you're gripping? What are you bringing with you? Like, what bags have you been carrying with you that you've just forgotten you're even carrying? Like, what programs do you have in your brain that you have to do like mental gymnastics to keep in place? What are you investing your time into? What wounds are you invested in carrying with you versus exposing and addressing? Again, this is the end of a cycle since November 2021. So as you go through your day today, just be curious about what themes, what threads have connected time and space experience between now and then. The harder aspects, like the lessons that keep coming up. This is the things that we talk about to our friends and say, I don't know why I keep attracting these kind of people, or I don't know why I keep ending up in the same relationship. That is because we are carrying things with us. We're keeping our wounds nice and safe and sound, rather than like just taking the splinter out. Like, we would rather just keep it in because that initial pain is too much, but then we have to protect it. We have to keep it safe. We have to do mental gymnastics in order for that part of us to continue to exist. So what are you investing yourself in keeping alive? What are you investing yourself in holding on to? And how can you use Scorpio Taurus to help you uncover that? Practicality, senses, form, function, providing, quantity, value, possessions versus emotions, transformation, depth, regeneration, shared resources, things that you inherit from the people that came before you, or just others in general. Slowly start to stretch your right leg back towards the wall behind you. Bring your hands beside your chest. Come up to your hands and knees, and then down to your seat. So let's take our legs in front of us and then just find the floor. Relax your head and shoulders down to the ground. Let's take our right foot over our left knee and then draw your legs in towards your body for a reverse pigeon. You can rock and sway a little bit. You can just be still. So the sun and the moon aren't the only players in this full moon. Mercury and Mars are conjunct, so they're very close together in the sky, and they're opposite of the moon. When Mercury and Mars are close together, that really infuses our communications and our thought process with energy of the warrior, with that aggressive, assertive, fighting spirit kind of energy. And that's really great for determination and for focus and for endurance and perseverance, but it can also, like, if we let ourselves get out of whack or we let ourselves get taken to an extreme, then we can use our words to damage people. We can use our words to cut people down. We can use our words to impose or bring battles. And I think with the fixedness, the stubbornness of these signs, that we can get triggered when we feel like we're losing control. And that's when we can turn to our words to bring assault upon the situation. But if we can use our fighting spirit to propel us forward as an individual versus roping other people into our drama, I think that's the way to work with this energy. Let's switch sides. Take your left ankle over your right knee. Draw your legs in towards your chest. Reverse pigeon. Another player in the sky is Jupiter. Jupiter is really close to the moon. So it's opposite of Mercury and Mars. When Jupiter's opposite of Mercury and Mars, we're more likely to be subject to over exaggerations, scandalous type, like just overly dramatic. And that can be really fun and entertaining, but taken to an extreme, it can be, I don't want to say dangerous in a scary way, but can pull us really far away to one extreme. And the world is already so polarized. I think it's easy to easily get sucked out to one side of the spectrum. So we strive to be at the center versus one side or the other. Big, big, big extremes. Extremes are in Scorpio's nature, the same level that we can feel joy and elation and just like complete and total bliss. We can also feel the equal and opposite of despair, sadness, loneliness, frustration. But if we can recognize when we are really far on one side, then it's easier for us to deliberately work back to center versus being like a pendulum that just swings from one side to the other constantly. Let's put our feet back down on the mat and then take a twist. Drop your knees over to the left side, reach your right hand out to the right and look over your right fingers. The extremes between Scorpio and Taurus, or the extreme nature of both. Scorpio is form. Taurus is form, and Scorpio is transformation. Scorpio prefers to feel things as they go, whereas Taurus likes to have a formed plan, a structure, something that's measurable and quantifiable. We want to find balance between our warrior spirit and using our words as weapons. We want to find balance between entertainment that brings joy and lightheartedness and drama that's like encapsulating. Let's move our knees over to the other side. Point the knees to the right, turn the chin to the left, reach out with your left arm. We also want to find a balance between being giving and like providing things for our loved ones and ourselves, find balance between that and like over giving, over committing, over sharing, over extending your resources to people. It's easy to do, especially if you have a big heart. And I know this from experience. It's really easy for me to agree to things that after I say yes, I'm like, what? Why? Why did I agree to that? It's because I get excited. So if we can find center between those things, over giving and providing, that would promote health and wellness in our lives. Let's bring the knees back to center and then stretch your legs out nice and long. If you are feeling like you need any additional movements or stretches, please work your way into them right now. And I'm going to take a moment in final resting pose. So whatever shape you'd like to be in, you can take Shavasana, you can take triple diamond, you can take legs up the wall, you just get comfortable. And then settle your way down into the ground. And say a little prayer, make a little request that with this bright full moon, that your polarities are illuminated, that your extremes are illuminated, that you can see these parts of yourself in a way that empowers you and gives you the option to stay where you are or to work to gravitate towards neutral or center. Say a little prayer, make a little request that the things that you've been brushing under the rug, the old wounds, those suitcases that you carry around with you, make a little request or say a little prayer that you become aware of what those are in a gentle way. And then trust that you have the courage and the skills to handle that, to deal with that, to expose it, to love it, to transmute it, to transform. Then take a breath in, take a breath out. Wiggle your fingers and your toes. Reach your hands back towards the wall behind you. Big stretch. Inhale, reach. Exhale, relax everything. Slowly make your way up to your seat. Bring your ears above your shoulders, above your hips. Relax your elbows, your arms, your shoulders. Bring your hands together at your heart center. With all my love and all my gratitude, namaste. Thank you so much for joining today. I hope you enjoyed your practice, your movement. I hope you enjoyed the words, and I hope you enjoy the full moon.